Sports fans, Charles Cullen and Isaac Moskowitz here to call what should be another great game. It's Greens Farms against Putnam Science once again. This time their prep team that they played in the first game of the season. Well, it was a tough game. Came down to the wire a little bit, but look, this is going to be an exciting matchup. Both teams can really shoot the ball well from beyond the arc. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Greens Farms right now, as we'll pop this up on the screen with our new technology we got here.
Yep, so Greens Farms is going with their usual starting lineup. We have Brandt checking in as a forward. She's in the starting lineup, has been in the starting lineup for a while. They got Delasanti, Grabowski, obviously.
Got the Tasmanian Devil, the Red Rocket.
The Red
Mary
Rocket.
Grace Delasanti in the backfield. Lots of fun to watch her play. Up next, big senior leader, Georgia Grabowski, the queen of the land of good and plenty.
Oh, absolutely.
She owns that spot.
She owns it.
And she looks
like
to make that known today.
We've got to get a plaque out there. The George Grabowski corner. That's her corner. That's her spot. Yep, she's looking to have a great game today. And then you have J.C. Marizal checking in the game. She's going to be one of the starters. Fantastic defensive player and a great all-around team leader. She's going to make an impact today.
Was the #1 star of the last game. But yeah, big key matchup, as Delasanti has a tough defensive matchup as she had last time. But look, when you got that engine going, the pain trains are coming. Whoop, whoop.
Absolutely.
Boom. And you got to be ready for that.
Pull it into the
as
Greens
they probably
Farm
should be. So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Greens Farm Station right down the road.
Oh,
so.
Absolutely.
There we go. As we're set for this tip-off, it will be Brandt to take this one. And we'll be underway. This is going to be a really entertaining matchup.
Absolutely.
Lovely thing for us commentators is that the numbers have all switched for Putnam Science. So, guess some familiar faces and unfamiliar numbers. Number 3 used to be number 5, but she's number 3. So,
yeah, just to play tricks on us.
But Putnam Science takes this one here at the start of the first quarter. Let's just assume that we're playing 2 games. As here's number 3 as she drives, puts that one up, and no good. It's now taken away by Marizal as she goes down the other way. Stops a bit outside the Delasanti, has a wide open 2. That one is off the mark and rebounded now by Putnam Science.
Both teams kind of slowing the game down. I know it's very early, so I can't make any predictions yet. But both teams playing a more slow-paced, patient offense. Both, they're trying to find lanes to go through. Their efficient passing, looking to find their open lane, and looking to make
there's a nice block by Brandt right there. But the Mustangs able to get it back. It's tipped again. Now takes a deep shot. That one is no good. And nice job to not touch that one. And the Dragons will have an inbound here. So the inbound comes. It's Marizal to take it up. What a season J.C. Marizal has had. The freshman has made such an impact, being a big part of the starting lineup.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, she's made an unexpected impact. Going into the season, we barely knew her, didn't really know her, and she's really made a name for herself on GSPN and in the team too. Fantastic leader from really anywhere on the court. She's a great field general, great basketball vision too. She's able to see the court very well, able to judge where players are going to be at any specific time, and able to get the ball out to her teammates very efficiently. Great freshman leader. Not often you say that, freshman leader, and she has a great season, rest of the season ahead of her, and a great career ahead of her as well.
Well, this one sauced back up to the top of the key. Marizal on defense. A nice shifty move by the Mustangs as they pass it across. Thought about taking the 3, does not. Puts that one up. That one is no good. A forced shot by number 3. Didn't have a great angle there and not able to convert.
It looked like she had 22 on her left side in the corner, wide open. I guess that's a little bit of a miscommunication there, maybe lack of vision, or just the GFA defense giving Putnam fits.
Here's Delasanti from deep. That one is a big 3-pointer. Put it on the board. Mary Grace Delasanti from the land of good and plenty. Puts the Dragons up on top. Not known, or I guess, look, she can shoot the deep ball, but
that's exactly what I was
first
saying.
made 3 of the season.
Absolutely. Normally, she's known for her defense, and boy, what a good defensive player she is. But she's spent a lot of time in the offseason, and she's spent a lot of time this season trying to perfect her three-point ability. You see a three-pointer there from Putnam Science. They're going toe-to-toe with GFA. But Mary Grace Delasanti shoring up her offensive ability, and that's big news for GFA and good news going forward.
Here's Marizal now driving. Passes went outside the Brandt. They've got 16 seconds to shoot. A nice Nice drive, but she's going to get fouled. She's going to go to the line to shoot 2 to try to give the Dragons the lead again. So well done by the Dragons so far. They struggled against the Mustangs in their last game, but they seem to have got their tactics all set.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of what we saw with the GFA against Brunswick in their last few games.
Yeah.
They had their tactics set. They saw what they liked in film. They shored up what they didn't like from their end in film, and they're working with what they have, and they're working with what the defense is giving them. And Putnam is very, very tough defense to get around, and good offense too, good efficient offense. And GFA is kind of going toe-to-toe with that. They say, okay, let's shore up our defense. Let's make sure we guard who we guard. No, miscommunications, no unforced errors. And then do what we do best on offense, which is, beachside bombardment for a reason. And so they're doing a very, very good job in this game, keeping it close. And it's a 1-point game for lead for GFA, and their defense has played very well in these first 2 minutes of the game.
This one's outside now, 22, working up against Brandt. Tries to shift a few moves by. That one is up and no good. Rebounded by Grabowski. And it looks like a problem with an arm of number 22. And she's going to get substituted, and she'll go up to the medical table maybe. Probably more than likely a Charlie horse or funny bone. At least you gotta hope so.
Yeah, nothing funny about a funny bone. That hurts.
Yeah, that's ironic.
I know.
Funny bone definitely stinks if you get hit there. That's a great play by Brandt. She was not able to keep it in, but Greens Farms will have an inbound coming in. Able to tightrope the sideline like a wide receiver on the sideline. That one's outside. Here's Keaveney. Wow, big,
what a block.
surprising block as she takes it coast to coast and puts that one in to give them the lead. That block came out of nowhere.
Wow, blink and you miss it, exactly. I mean, that was one of the most aggressive blocks I've seen in a long time.
As Keaveney drives, cannot put it in. Rebounded by Grabowski, and now Brandt takes it up. Brandt takes the jump shot. That one is good. So back and forth here, another lead change.
GFA is not letting that defensive play phase them. They're going right back on offense. That's what they do best on their offense. They don't let up on the gas. They don't try to play conservative. They do exactly what they need to do on offense and play to their strengths. And oftentimes they go silent, but when it works, it's a thing of beauty. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Their offense starting to get into a rhythm, starting to hum a little bit. And that's because they scouted well against Putnam's defense.
Well, Putnam Science, for the last time they didn't have a bench, and this time they have 2 subs. We'll see if that comes into play. Delasanti does not take the 3. Here's the drive, and looks like there was some contact, but mass break is called by the referee. No foul on that. So when we come back, I believe it will be a Mustangs inbound underneath the basket.
Looks like there might have been a foul on that play. I'm not entirely sure who. It was kind of up to the ref's discretion of if it was going to be a charge on Delasanti.
Well, that's I think what I was saying pre-game. Yeah. You see, once you start the engine, it's tough to stop.
Yep.
She just plows through everything in her path.
Absolutely, yeah, and
yeah, I'd hate to be a defender.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah.
That'll
when
leave a mark.
When you see that you're covering Delasanti, you'll just ask coach for a change. Like you'll say, nope, can't do that.
So the Dragons take a 3-point lead after an inbound underneath the basket. So it was a foul on the Mustangs. Here's a nice drive, puts that one up and in, so it's a 1-point game. As here's Marizal driving now, outside now to Brent. Trying to make a few people miss. Now Keaveney, outside Delasanti. Cross court, had that one tipped, and the Mustangs will take it with an opportunity to score on the other end, as that is a cross court pass tipped away by Grabowski, and the Mustangs will have it underneath as a change coming in. Looks like 22 did just hit her funny bone. So she'll be coming back in. That one is passed underneath. The jump shot is up and good to give the Mustangs a 1-point lead.
Both teams playing a take-what-you-can-get style of offense. GFA not forcing any plays, neither is Putnam. They're playing to the weaknesses of the defense, and it seems to be working for both teams. It's a tie game, and their defenses have played very well. So interesting how it's a good strategy.
Not a lot of three-pointers being scored. Actually, only one by Greens Farms. A lot of under the basket, a lot of layups, jump shots put up, which is the change of pace from what we're used to.
Exactly. Yeah, we usually see, as you said, beachside bombardment. Yeah, they just fire it from the three-point line. But they've had a change of pace, and they've had a change of style recently. And that change of style has been more oriented around playing to their defensive strengths that they kind of found in the GCDS game, and that's been continuing ever since. And playing to a more efficient offense and a more balanced offensive approach where you'll take what the defense gives you until they start to make mistakes, and then you can really blow the top off the game.
Here's the deep shot by Brandt. That one is no good. Saved by, or so we thought, saved by Gordon, but referee calls it out of bounds. And we're underway again. As number 4 taking it up for the Mustangs, going up against Marizold. Now outside. Still working, trying to find a teammate back outside. Marizold on the coverage now. A nice screen. Crosses his back outside, intercepted, I think, from the original target as the jump shot's up and good. A 3-point lead for the Mustangs now. Yeah, not sure that pass was intended for 32, but worked out.
Yeah, exactly. Works the same. It's interesting when that happens too, because it's a miscommunication that actually works out in your favor.
As that is a nice defensive play underneath. That one is stripped away, so back-to-back turnovers though. Saucing it outside, going up against Brandt now. Now taking her time. Looking for a nice way in. She found a hole and put that one home for a 5-point lead.
Couple great drives from Putnam Science Academy. They've been going into the paint, looking at GFA's. I think GFA's playing on more of a zone defense than usual, and they've taken advantage of that by driving into the paint, doing fast-paced takes from the key down into the paint and then into the basket, which has worked so far for them. And we'll see how GFA is going to shore up their defensive strategy. Maybe play some man press coverage. Full court press is what really worked in the GCS game, and I think it was the Cheshire games that they played after that. Yeah.
It definitely was a good strategy. It tires your team out a little bit, but little few extra pressure can't ever hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we're seeing on these past few possessions what plagued GFA the last few times they played Putnam Science, and that's the turnovers. Unable to secure offensive chances and leading to points on the other end. That's the way. It's the recipe for a hole.
Absolutely.
We got to see if maybe this timeout called by Putnam Science will be beneficial to the Dragons here. Maybe a chance to regroup and get their plan all set before coming back out. It's only a 5-point deficit for them so far, but they have to make sure they hold on to that ball.
Exactly. This is a tipping point in the game, and you want to make sure if you hold on to the ball, if you shore up your offense, if you make sure you play efficient, clean offense, then you can either hold this deficit or shrink it, as GFA wants to do. The only problem is if you're unable to do that, then it starts to snowball a little bit for Putnam Science. They start to accumulate a lead, they start to accumulate points, and then you're stuck in an even bigger hole by halftime, which is harder to get back at.
As that one is in and out, and Keavney trying to get it. She could not. Number 4 having to work against the world, and now slows it back down. Kicks it outside now. Going up against Keavney. Now outside. Here's the drive. Tries to put it through, and they do. So a nice 7-point cushion for him so far as Keavney takes this one up. About a 2-second difference between the shot and game clock. Grabowski now outside. Now Gordon, as she's looking for a teammate, finds Keavney. A nice switch. McCall now grouped up. Here's Brandt. They've got 10 seconds to shoot. That one is turned over again. And the Mustangs have a 2-on-1. The drive, 9-point lead for them now. Let's see if Greens Farms, they've got 2 seconds. And Grabowski has to heave one up. That one was close, but no cigar as the Mustangs take a 9-point lead into the second quarter. And, well, we spoke about it right before it happened. I guess it's a announcer jinx maybe you can chalk that up to, but we talked about the turnovers, and they came up big for the Mustangs in the first quarter.
Absolutely, yeah. And whenever you talk to a coach about what they want to make sure their team does not do, and they say, don't commit turnovers. That's like the number one thing that you see
sure
across the board.
You sure? I'm not sure. I thought turnovers were good.
Yeah, well, maybe in some sport, but not in basketball.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
But yeah, turnovers are a big no-no, especially when you're trying to either climb out of a hole or avoid a hole.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, exactly. And on the defense, turnovers are good. You want to get the turnovers, but on the offensive side of the ball, not so much. And that's really been plaguing GFA when they've fallen into holes. It's not because their offense has played bad, or it's not because their defense has played bad in these last couple of games. It's mostly been because they haven't been able to win the turnover battle. They haven't been able to get the turnovers that they need to on the defensive side of the ball, and more often, they've been committing too many turnovers on the offensive side of the ball. And they've made strides to try to clean up their game, try to clean up what they're doing. But in this game against Putnam Science, when you have a really good defense that they are, you have to make sure that you put ball control as a top priority. And we're seeing that the effects of not being able to have good ball control, being sloppy on the offensive side of the ball in that way. And this is the effect. You're down by down by 9, and you want to make sure you clean that up going forward. GFA is going to try to drop some schemes and some plays to make sure they get things going on the offensive side of the ball, all while maintaining good ball control.
As Brandt has that one stripped away, so another turnover. 33 with a nice clear cut way to the basket, but she's not able to put that one in. It's tipped away, and Modzalewski will inbound this one underneath. Not a good way to start the second quarter, but, well, they got the ball right back, so no harm, no foul for now. As there's a nice screen, and a foul is called on the Mustangs. And a nice screen by Brandt. Dragons will inbound this one here. Splashed outside the McCall. Back now Marizold. Inside, a nice pass to Brandt. Modzalewski inside. Marizold had that one tipped away and taken by the Mustangs again. There's a nice swat by McCall to stop what probably would have been 2 points underneath the basket. To force an inbound, to make him work for it a little bit harder here. That one is sauced outside. Here's the deep shot, in and out. Rebounded underneath. This one's up and good. So an 11-point game. And the Dragons scoring drought continues. That is another errant pass. Marizold storming back on defense, but couldn't stop that one. And now they're piling on the points as a timeout is called. But look, that's the turnovers again. Too many of them, leading the points down the other way.
Exactly, yeah. If you can't shore up those turnovers, you're just not going to have possessions to score the points back. And you're giving Putnam Science pretty much free possessions. And when you have an offense like Putnam Science Academy, that's not what you want to give them. And, yeah, it's just really biting GFA, these turnovers. And if they shore it up, when they had good ball control, when they had that under control, when they controlled themselves in the offensive side of the ball, they were in a good position. They were leading for a little bit in this game towards the end of the first quarter. Beginning of the first quarter, sorry. But when the turnovers started to get out of control, when they became, sloppy on offense, when they weren't able to maintain possessions on offense, then that's when this snowball effect started. And this is when Putnam Science is starting to run away with this lead a little bit. This is a very timely timeout. Regroup, calm down, know what you need to do on offense. Know that how you play well on offense. You're the beachside bombardment. And that you can drop these plays, drop these schemes to get your weapons open, get your weapons into space. I like the screen game that they're playing. I like that offensive style, but it all starts with ball control. And screen plays are notorious for, if you don't have a good ball control team, that's not going to work very well. And so GFA's got to clean up their game on the turnover side of the ball and make sure that they can execute their offense effectively.
That shot not falling, and the Mustangs try to capitalize on it on the other end. Outside, wide open three-pointer. That one is no good. Rebounded by Modzalewski. Marizold now taking this one up. Still working the perimeter a bit as they fire this one underneath the Brandt. A nice pass and a nice feed, and Grabowski puts this one in, finally ending the scoring drought.
That's what I'm talking
Nice
about. Good
11-point
passing, good ball control, drawing up a good scheme, and knowing exactly where your teammate's going to be at any given situation. That's a recipe for success, and it shows right there. Good job by GFA to get those points and end that scoring drought.
Here's a wide open look. No good. Underneath now with the second chance opportunity, and a clever play to get an inbound there in a sticky situation. So the Mustangs will inbound this one. That one is up, no good. Rebounded by Modzalewski underneath. And the Dragons look to score again. Let's see if they can make it 2 times in a row. As that one's splashed outside. Here's Grabowski, puts it into Brandt, and a foul is called. So the Dragons will inbound this one. So 5:50 on the clock here in your second quarter, as I believe this at the end of that 5:50 we'll probably be starting a new game. But you never know. They
you never know. They may switch it on us again. They like to keep us on our toes.
As Brandt not able to put that one in underneath. And the Mustangs splash this one outside. Working around Marisnell. Now back out. Wide open look. That one is no good. Number 3 was hot from beyond the arc last time they played, but none of those shots are falling so far in this one. As Marizold passes this one straight to 23, who races past Modzalewski, then past Brandt. And there's a 13-point lead for the Mustangs now. Again, another turnover.
Exactly, yeah. Errant passing, miscommunications, this leads to turnovers, and that's exactly what happens. GFA unable to keep possessions and make sure that they can, get offensive opportunities because they give up the ball and unforced errors and turnovers, and they got to be able to find a way to shore that up, or else it's going to be a long afternoon.
As that one is stripped away, Marizold able to tightrope the sideline. They call a foul on 33. So there will be a substitution here now as Modzalewski and McCall check out, and Delasanti and Keaveney check right on. So we'll have an inbound on the side. This one's a nice pass outside. Now Brandt looking for a teammate. Had that one tipped, and Greens Farms will take this one again. Outside, tipped away again, but the Dragons will take this one right back. So a little bit of a tip drill going on right now.
Yep. Tip drill in basketball, equally as important, if not more important, than it is in football.
Well, I mean, tip drill is in football is when you're like tipping it up.
Exactly.
Tip drill, I don't know if that term worked, but
I know.
Hopefully you got what it meant. As this one's tossed outside. Keaveney from the side. That one is no good. Rebounded underneath by Grabowski. That one shakes in, so an 11-point lead for the Mustangs.
Good position by George Grabowski. Position himself in the paint, right under the basket. No, that's a good, effective, good teamwork. You know exactly where your teammate's going to shoot, and you can be right there to get the rebound. Good play by George Grabowski.
Passed outside. Did not take that three-pointer. There's an open pass. Grabowski's open from her corner. Marizold takes that one, though, and it's no good. Ganged up by two. It's loose and picked up by the Dragons, and they're able to reset a bit. As Keaveney passes this one outside. A nice cross-court pass, and now it falls to Brandt, who's surrounded by a few. No timeout called, rightfully so, as Marizold takes that jump shot. No good. And the Mustangs now get it out of their own end. Here's a drive, and let's see here. They're calling, I believe, a defensive foul against the Dragons here. Not sure. I believe there's a problem with maybe the coach getting in their way, getting on the court, maybe.
Yeah. That's why you gotta have the assistant coach hold him on the sideline, like Sean McVay.
Oh yeah.
He has an entire assistant dedicated to make sure he doesn't get on the field. Now I don't know if you need to go to that extreme, but just find that that's funny. I find it funny that he has to have an entire assistant, or at least one of the assistants. One of his jobs is to keep him off the field.
So both teams get a little time to regroup here.
So GFA starting to get into a rhythm on offense, but so is Putnam. And so the lead not really shrinking, and that's really a product of GFA is playing well on offense when they have the opportunities, when they have the possessions. But when they don't have the possessions, obviously that's not the case, and they don't have possessions a good amount of time because of the turnovers they're committing. And they have to have better communication. They have to talk more. They have to make sure they're vocal about where they're going to be and have
the
good
deep shot is good. Sorry to cut you off, but three-pointer.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
And yeah, exactly. And you have to be able to understand where the player is going to be and make sure that you don't commit turnovers, hold on to the ball, and do what you can do best on offense.
So Gordon checks in, and Brent comes out. And we'll have an inbound underneath. But it's a 16-point game with about 3 minutes to go. In your first half, as Grabowski's still looking and had that one taken away. So another turnover for the Mustangs. Their defense has been great so far. There's a second chance opportunity. That one is tipped away, and I believe they called it off of Greens Farm. So here's going to be a third chance opportunity with this inbound.
We talk about those third chance opportunities. Who can get some of those? Who can get those third or even fourth chance opportunities in the game and have extra opportunities on offense when their offense isn't humming? That's really a good sign of a good winning strategy to claw their way back from a deficit and get a lead. And so far, Putnam Science Academy has done well with that, even though they don't have the deficit.
So a one-on-one for Keaveney here as Greens Farms entered the bonus. Didn't think there were that many fouls called in the first quarter, but
yeah, I mean neither. But
well, bonus it is. The light's on. First one is good.
So that kind of changes things for Putnam. They have to make sure that they can't play too aggressively on defense and risk fouling and giving GFA more opportunities than they'd like. And so wonder how they're going to play this defensive. They played well defensively so far, but maybe toward late half situation, if GFA starts to get a comeback, I think the foul is no longer an option. They can't just keep fouling them to try to make sure that they can't get opportunities because GFA has that bonus.
Yeah, and it came in big on that possession. They got 3 points off of it, but now the Mustangs respond with a three-pointer of their own. This one's passed outside. Grabowski open from the corner. No good. Rebounded there by Delisante, who gives it outside to Marizal. Passes this one inside. Grabowski couldn't put it in. Gordon could not shake that one in. And it's rebounded by the Mustangs. As number 4 to take this one out of her own end. We're in the final 2 minutes of your second quarter. And a timeout is called by Putnam Science. Good time for a timeout there. Surrounded by 2 Greens Farms defenders to protect the ball and save the jump ball also. The potential of having a jump ball.
Exactly. I mean, Putnam has possession, so they could get the jump ball if it's like a true 50-50 ball, but you don't want to risk it. You want to be able to keep possession for sure, regroup your offense, and figure out what you're going to do in these final few minutes. Putnam has played well. Not a lot you can say on that.
Yeah,
Putnam's played. They played well defensively, offensively.
Their defense have been
they played
fantastic.
solid.
They've forced a turnover on, so many consecutive possessions.
Exactly.
It's tough to do much without all the times they've turned it over.
Exactly. I mean, they've taken advantage of what GFA is giving them, and quite literally, GFA is giving them the ball on multiple occasions. And so Putnam is they're making the most of those opportunities. They're playing a very militaristic style of play where they're taking what the defense gives them. Not a lot of flashy plays, a couple of good three-pointers, but not a lot of flashy, high-flying performance plays. But they've taken what the defense gives them. They had an efficient offense, a very stout defense, and they've accumulated a good lead off of the GFA turnovers, off of a good defense that's forced those turnovers, and off of an offense that's capitalized on those turnovers. It's a winning recipe for Putnam, and GFA might want to emulate that a little bit. That's what they've been doing so far. That's what they've been trying to do in the games. Have an efficient style of offense, have a good defense to back that up, and slowly but surely accumulate points.
This one's put in. Knocked inside and taken away by Marisol. So there's a turnover on GFA's end. Grabowski had that one tipped away, but 4 could not secure that one. So there will be an inbound underneath. 1:42 on the clock. GFA down by 16. As a pass outside, Marisol did not take the open 3, takes the floater. That one is no good. Ricochets, Marisol able to get it. Delasanti passes it back out to Keaveney, who drives. A lot of contact, no and one, but the 2 counts.
That's an impressive play, going through 2 defenders, falling down, and still makes the shot. Would have been better if it was an and one, but ref did not see a foul there.
That was a long, ambitious 3-pointer by number 4, and it is off the mark, so Brent will have it. A nice opportunity for Greens Farms to get some points. Delasanti from deep, that one is no good. So the Mustangs regroup here as they pass this one outside. It's 4, back to the top with 22 by the yellow line. Driving around, Marisol playing tight defense though. Dragons not letting up. And here's the drive, no good. And it's taken by Brandt. Another big rebound for the Dragons. Let's see if they can capitalize with some points. They left Grabowski open from 3. She does not take it, but puts that floater in. Now they're chipping away at the lead a little bit. Their offense seems to have woken up. It's a 12-point game.
GFA is going to want to get it below 10. Like we said, that's that comfortable, uncomfortable lead. Another threshold of points in which if they're down by 10 or less, then they're in it. Then they have an ability to draw what they like to do on offense, do what they like to do best, and draw up the plays that they like on offense with a little bit of more freedom than if they're down by too much.
As the drive, it's no good. Grabowski, she has to heave one up, and that one is no good. Tough to put up a shot with that amount of time left from that position into the court, but well, we'll see if the scoreboard is reset. More than likely it will. But Greens Farms played good late into that second quarter, but boy, the turnovers were just such a problem. The reason why they're down. I'm surprised it's close with how many turnovers they committed.
Yeah, I mean, to be down 12 with the amount of turnovers they created, I mean, I wouldn't say you want to be proud of that, but it is fortunate for GFA. And they got to be able to shore up the fundamentals. You have to be able to shore up ball control. You have to be able to make it easier said than done. When you're facing a tough opponent like Putnam Science, especially on the defensive side of the ball, definitely easier said than done. But that being said, GFA has the ability to really run an efficient offense. They have the ability to, get things going on the offensive side of the ball, but it starts with the fundamentals. It starts with ball control, and it starts with being able to play well, doing the things that you know how to do, running the plays that you know how to play. Screen plays have worked well for them, and that's kind of the style of offense that I've seen them want to do to get players open, but it all starts with ball control, and it all starts with efficient passing and communication, and that's something that they've lacked in this first half.
In this first half, yeah, exactly. Look, it's just something that once it piles up, it's tough to dig yourself out of a hole. So I think they're going to hope that this scoreboard resets at halftime. If it doesn't, I mean, look, it's still comebackable. It's a 12-point lead, and they've got 2 quarters to do it. And their offense looked really good. Their defense has been pretty stout. The problem is it's tough for their defense to handle just the amount of possessions that the Mustangs have had in this one. So we'll see what Coach Harris and the gang cook up during halftime. We'll see what adjustments they make. And we'll be right back at you. We got 8 minutes left at halftime, so we'll be right back at you in about 7 minutes for the exciting second half. So stick around. Buzzer sounded. Teams take the court once again. So, you know, I don't know really what to say about this whole scoreboard thing. You know, the minute we talk about it resetting, it doesn't reset. The minute we talk about it not resetting, it resets. The time we don't talk about it at all, we have no idea what's going on.
There
doesn't seem to be a rule. There doesn't seem to be a protocol. It just seems to be whatever the commentators say, we do the opposite, and we'll just go from there. So
that's got to be the reason. So we have some stats up on the screen right now, and you can see just the sheer offensive ability that Putnam has. But really, the stats underneath the stats are the turnovers. I wasn't able to get a good read on what the turnover situation looked like statistics-wise for either team, but if I could, it got to be that GFA has committed a lot of them, and that's one of the reasons why Putnam, their point leader, has twice the amount of points as GFA's point leader, which is Georgia Grabowski. So GFA is going to look to try to shore that up in this half. Look what they did well on offense, drop some good plays. I like the screenplay. We'll see if they do that, but it all starts with good fundamentals. We'll see how they clean up that up here.
So the deficit stays. It's 11. I believe they had an error on the last in the last half, so they took a point off of Putnam Science as that one hits the rim, rebounded by Grabowski. So the deficit's only 11. To use the GFA coined word, it's definitely comebackable. That'll help, as now it's a 9-point game. But GFA just needs to limit the turnovers. They limit the turnovers, they have a lot more offensive opportunities, and their defense can work a lot more comfortably.
Exactly.
This one's from beyond the arc, no good, and rebounded by Delasanti.
Exactly. Their offense can start to be more creative. They can start to get more plays, test things out, do what they do well on offense, and take some risks. When they are able to get, a good, when they're shrinking the cushion that Putnam has, and their defense plays a little bit more confidence too, because they don't have to play superhero on defense every play to make sure it doesn't get out of hand.
As that is a shooting foul, Grabowski will go to the line, and she will try to make this a 7-point game. First one is off the mark. Grabowski out the line now. She's setting up her shot. It's up. It's good. It's good. This one now back outside. Taken by Putnam Science, getting one of those free throws, so it stays at an 8-point game. As here's the drive, had some contact, no and one called, but able to slip by to get 2 points, make it a 10-point game as Marisol passes this one out to Delasanti. Now back out Marisol. Had an open shot, but she's not one to take three-pointers usually, as Keavney catches the loose ball and could not shake that one in. And a good opportunity for the Mustangs here. As nice defense being played, Grabowski able to take that one up. Has to find a teammate. She finds Brandt, had that one stripped away, and it gets slapped out of bounds, so the Dragons will have an inbound. Look, there's a reverse of last half, GFA getting a turnover.
Exactly, and I want to know, when Georgia Grabowski has X amount of steals or X amount of blocks, what happens to GFA's point total? Because I believe that GFA's offense plays much better when Georgia Grabowski plays well on the defensive side of the ball, and it makes sense. She gets offensive opportunities for GFA, and then she scores well on the opposite side of the court, or sets up opportunities for her teammates to score well. But I'd love to get those stats and see what the numbers on that are.
That one is no good, as the layup went up and down. Now Keavney takes this one, stops a bit. Outside there to Marisol. Back inside, Brent driving. Cross court, back to Marisol. Grabowski from the corner, that one is no good. And rebounded by Delasanti. The shot clock still at 10, as there's a nice feed underneath the Brent, and she's gonna go to the line to shoot 2.
Fouls were a bit of a problem for Putnam Science Academy. They last half.
Yeah.
I almost said last game, but it's last half.
This half. This time. Don't know about next time, though.
Don't know about next time. Can't say the same for next time, but basically Putnam Science Academy, they committed a lot more fouls than GFA, which is surprising since they were up by a good amount of margin at halftime. And looks like that trend is continuing here. GFA having a bunch of Putnam committing a bunch of shooting fouls, and GFA having opportunities to get points by shooting free throws, and that could be a theme going forward. If you're Putnam Science Academy, you got to make sure you clean up that game because you played pretty good basketball. And if this is the only thing you need to clean up, that's not a bad position you can be in. But you have to clean it up. You can't give GFA those opportunities if you're Putnam Science. If you're GFA, find ways that you can get those opportunities, find ways that you can draw those fouls.
So now Marizot on defense. Lead trimmed to 7 now. There's outside. Thought about taking the 3. Does not. There's the layup not able to fall. And the Dragons stand on defense. Nice pass out to Keavney, who fires this one inside to Brent. Now looking for the drive outside. Delasanti, foot on the line, a long 2. If it's good, it is good. A 5-point game.
You got to love Delasanti's long, high-arcing shots.
Well, the Red Rifle strikes again. Not from beyond the arc, but still leaving her mark on the offense. Scored the first points of this game, and she looks... Yeah, there's a backcourt violation, but she looks to try to energize her team down the stretch now, making it a 5-point game.
Exactly, yeah. When she plays well on offense, that's another thing I like to look at. When Delasanti plays well on offense, when she makes, Y number of 3-pointers, or she has a certain number of points, what does it look like on the defensive side of the ball? What does it look like on the offensive side of the ball? She's such a great leader on the team, especially on the defense, and her team gets fired up when she's able to make those offensive points. Looks like there's a travel called on Putnam, so a lucky break for GFA.
That's a big turnover for the Mustangs. It gives GFA a prime opportunity to make this either a 2 or a 3-point game, pending whatever falls. Or I guess you could always make a 3-pointer, get fouled on it, and then miss the free throw, get an underneath layup, and tie up the game.
True. So that could happen. I guess you call it still a 2-point
took
possession.
a nice fall, but she's able to get back up. Looks like she's okay. Something to walk off. Wide open underneath the basket. Not sure how she missed that one, but she's able to get it back underneath. Here's a deep shot. That one is no good, and rebounded again by Putnam Science, but it's tipped away, and we'll see. Not sure who gets possession, as Grabowski's going to check out. Modzalewski checks back in. She'll look to walk off that fall. I believe, yeah, it's going to be a Putnam Science inbound here underneath the basket. This one's passed outside. Here's a deep 3. That one is good. So an 8-point game now. This one's passed outside, right back. In the corner, it's Keavney. Has to work around 2. Cross court. Delasanti from deep. That one is no good. And rebounded by Keavney outside. Brent was calling for it. Couldn't get it. Now she gets it. Working outside. Still working the perimeter. A deep shot by Brant. That one is off the rim.
Good passing by GFA, and they look like they've shored up the turnover issues this half. They're communicating well, good passing, setting things up on offense, and it's really working well for them on the offensive side of the ball, and it's a good steal there. Sets up a good offensive drive and points there.
So a 6-point game. Has a nice defensive play and a good pass by Marizal to find Keavney underneath to put that jump shot in. Double teaming number 3 as she drives, doesn't matter, puts it in. A nice shifty move to make it an 8-point game again. And Marizal fires it down to Brent, who gives it back to Delasanti to reset. Now Marizal puts it inside Modzalewski. Outside Marizal with a deep jump shot. That one is good. So trading off 2s. Greens Farms have done a good job of silencing number 3 for Putnam Science. But she's able to strike there. We'll see if that's a sign of things to come. As that shot is off the mark. Modzalewski now looking down the other end, and a foul is called. So the Dragons will have an inbound. A mass break is called by the referee here with 2 minutes and 13 seconds in your third period. As Delasanti checks out, McCall comes on. much cleaner basketball being played by the Dragons in this half, and that's the reason why they've cut their deficit in half.
Absolutely, yeah. They've definitely cleaned up the turnover issue. They've been able to play an efficient offense, have good ball control, have good communication too, and that allows them to play the game that they want to. That allows them to use the schemes or play the plays that they like to and get things going on the opposite side of the ball, and that's why they've chipped away at this deficit. They're only down by 6, and they have their offense rolling a bit. They are getting into a rhythm, getting into a groove. They have a couple of plays that work. They have a scheme, an offensive scheme that's working for them, and they have the building blocks to get those points back. It's all a matter of communication and good ball control and finding a way through the defense, and they're right back in it.
As a nice pass outside to Brandt, now grouped up by 2, passes this one to Marizold. Now McCall in the corner of Keaveney, had that one swatted away, and a nice play by the Mustangs to shut down that attack. As now they look to score points on their end. Here's a three-pointer put up, and that one is in. So a 9-point lead. And we'll see if the Dragons can respond. McCall puts it back outside, has that one swatted away, and Greens Farms will inbound this one underneath the basket as Grabowski set the check in. And Keaveney will come out.
To give credit to Putnam's offense, they haven't allowed a good, effective scoring drive or scoring surge by GFA. They've been right in it. When their defense has started to falter, their offense has picked up the pace, and so they've done a good job offensively. Now GFA has got to find a way to make their defense pay a little bit, get their offense humming, and find ways to stop Putnam's offense and be able to claw their way back into this one. Make sure that deficit doesn't just stay as the points increase.
Well, a timeout called by Putnam Science with about 1 minute and 21 to go. They've got a 9-point lead just off of the lead increases after a few missed shots by Greens Farms capitalizing on it the other way. That's the definition of getting a lead in basketball. Not much you can really do if the shots don't fall.
I mean, if the shots aren't falling, that's just really bad luck, and there's not much you can do except for get yourself in positions where you know you can make those shots and then try to make them as best you can. But that's really the definition of an offensive slump, when the shots aren't falling, when you're not able to get anything going on offense. Not really anything of your fault if you're doing the right plays, if you're getting yourselves open, just kind of the luck of the draw. And so when you have that kind of funk that you're in, you have to examine what you're doing on offense and make sure it's nothing that you can control. If it is, get creative on offense. Try different things. Look at what's worked in the past in certain situations. Look at what hasn't worked in the past in certain situations and make sure to avoid that. Do anything you can to get yourself in a position where you are confident making those shots. A lot of basketball, and from what I've seen, what I've heard, I'm no expert, but from what I've seen, a lot of basketball is a lot of how you're able to make shots in basketball is if you have the confidence to do so. If you have the ability, the underlying ability, that never goes away. But you may go through periods of confidence and lack of confidence in which you're not able to make the shots that you usually are able to make, or you're able to make shots that you usually aren't able to make. And so if you're on an offense, you want to maximize the ability to be confident on that offensive side of the ball. And how do you do that? Getting good possessions going, efficient offense, getting yourself in space, getting good open lanes to pass and shoot, and that's exactly what GFA is going to try to do here.
So an inbound for the Mustangs, and here's a quick three-pointer taken. That one is no good. Rebounded, now in the corner, going up against McCall as they switch now. Grabowski and 4 will take it, directing traffic a bit, flings it outside with a wide open look. That one is no good, and the Dragons will have an opportunity to shorten the lead a little bit. And Mitterzold will take this one up as we near the final minute of your third quarter. Outside now to Brandt, she's working. Grabowski from the corner, has to get around 2. She's able to slip by a few, but had that one taken away. Now the Mustangs come storming back. A nice pass underneath, and the layup is up and good. 11 points now. As 40 seconds and counting, enough for 2 possessions. Mitterzold gets this one back outside. Grabowski, she shoots this one and hits from the corner from the land of good and plenty. Grabowski from her spot.
You don't want to leave her open there.
We've seen that today.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a bit surprising in this game. I think it's a credit to Putnam's defense. They've kind of held her in check in that aspect, but she's able to make it there, and that's a big play for GFA, getting the confidence going. Like I said, confidence is key in basketball, and you want to be able to be confident on the offensive side of the ball, and getting that going, getting that confidence, getting that momentum going with that three-pointer can do wonders for a team. Let's see how they capitalize on it here.
Has to put one up at the buzzer, and that one is no good. Surprised Grabowski didn't take that one. Not sure if it was a time awareness thing or what, but had a pretty good opportunity to shoot it herself in the last 8 minutes to get a nice three-pointer off. But
exactly, yeah, she was in position. They weren't far from the basket. I mean, it would have been a deep-ish three-pointer, but definitely within her wheelhouse, definitely within range.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it was just a miscommunication, or like you said, not time, lack of time awareness, maybe. But in those final few seconds, it's nice to get those three-pointers, or it's nice to get those points to get a momentum booster. But overall, it doesn't really, unless it's like a really close game, it doesn't affect.
It would have made it a 5-point game if it falls. Now, that's if. Of course, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah. Exactly. Tough shot,
so.
Time winding down, pressured. But still, you want to be able to put yourself in that opportunity to make those shots. And even if it misses, you want to be able to.
It would have been nice to get the shot off. But, it is what it is. Dragons look to regroup. They did play much better basketball so far after the third quarter. So we'll see if they continue, have a little bit more offensive firepower. They're only down 8. They've got a lot of time to fix that. So we will see. As for Putnam, GFA's clawed back a little bit. They started to miss a few shots, and at one point, it was a 5-point game. And Greens Farm starting fast. This one's passed out Grabowski. That one is up and no good. Rebounded by Gordon. That one's outside to Keavney, who splashes it out to McCall. It's a quick start by Greens Farms. They didn't waste any time. They wanted some free points underneath.
Absolutely not, and exactly that's what you want to do when you have a tough defense like Putnam Science. You want to get them off balance. You want to get them off guard, and good job by GFA there, and they're getting rebounds too. They have a good offensive possession going.
And that one is no good, so a missed opportunity on a lot of opportunities for Greens Farms. They couldn't put any of those home. And the Mustangs will take it. That definitely caught them off guard. That's a nice play by Coach Harrison to start that fourth quarter. I don't think anyone was expecting that.
I certainly wasn't. It's a really great play and a really great strategy to start off the fourth quarter and catch Putnam Science off guard. Now, they didn't get the points, but it did definitely give them, second chance opportunities, maybe even a third chance opportunity on that play, and set them up in good position to make points. Now they just have to execute.
Oh, McCall rejected in the corner. But their Dragons were able to get it back. That was a strong block. Oh my goodness.
Woo. Yeah, that was a second strong block by Putnam Science on McCall this afternoon, which is interesting. It's happened twice to McCall specifically.
This one's outside of the corner, able to put it in with Grabowski. The Mustangs tried to draw a foul, but no one's home. Now, I said the Mavericks because their logo is the Dallas Mavericks logo. I don't know how they got away with that, but yeah, I guess Mark Cuban's too busy with Shark Tank. He's got too many investments to check out Putnam Science's logo. But hey, I mean, they changed the color. It's not all Dallas Mavericks. I think they switched the logo up a little bit, added a few things in there, and you get around copyright laws.
Exactly. I think though, oftentimes teams, especially those near like a professional sports team, will share the logo with that team. Now I know Dallas Mavericks is nowhere near Connecticut.
Yeah.
But still, oftentimes that is the case, and I think the only rule is you can't make money off of jerseys like sales or money off of the logo. As long as Putnam isn't making money, they can use the logo. Heck, we're using the ESPN logo.
Yeah, that's true. We are using the ESPN logo, so you got us there. But hey, I mean, at least we put the G in there instead of the E. So still an 8-point game as the drive comes up, not able to shake that one home, and Grabowski gets the boards. As Brent now looking to find a teammate, and that one is taken away. Here's the drive. That one is up. Cannot shake it home. Rebounded by Greens Farms. And he's just waiting for some teammates to come back, and a timeout is called by the Dragons. Look, it's an 8-point game. 3-pointer makes it a 5-point game. 5-point game looks a lot better. So
Absolutely,
we'll see what the Dragons can do with this next possession, what play they draw up. Coach Harris called this timeout in an interesting spot, so obviously they've got something planned.
Yeah, she saw something with the defense, or she saw something that she wanted to do on offense, and she wants to execute that going forward. And like you said, GFA's in kind of they're in a good spot. They're in a good position to really put themselves in a good position to tie up this game, because they have the ability to make this three, or to make a three, on this possession. And Coach Harris wants to drop a specific play for that. She sees something with the defense that she wants to take advantage of, or she sees something on offense, a player that she wants to get into space and get moving and make sure that she has an open lane to shoot it. Either way, she wants to be able to make that three-pointer, and she wants to be putting GFA in the best possible position to be down by only 5. And like you said, 5 looks a lot better than 8 on the deficit sheet, and that gives GFA confidence and the ability to really make this a much closer game and to put them in a good spot to tie it up or even take the lead going forward.
Well, this is going to certainly be an exciting conclusion to this one. And we'll see. I mean, we've still got 5 minutes left. So this has been a great one, certainly as advertised. Marizal now taking this right back up. Got 20 seconds on the shot clock as Brent now flings one to Marizal outside. Keaveney still working the perimeter, had that one tipped away. Brent able to get that one back for the Dragons, though a huge play, as Keaveney floats up that one up, and it's no good. They hit the deck, a jump ball, and this one, let's see, they're calling it for Greens Farms, so they're able to get this one back. And the reset shot clock. That one's outside, and it's taken away. A nice interception underneath by the Mustangs. So, let's see, are they calling this on the shot or on the block? Looks like they say it's...
Looks like they say it's a charge.
Looks like they say it's a charge, or not. I couldn't tell you. No, it looks like a shooting foul. They're going to call it a blocking foul.
I like to think we have gotten better at reading the ref's signals and what they say, but...
Kind of.
Sort of, maybe.
I mean, at that point it's 50-50. And I can't really see, I don't know, sometimes the ref signals are a little bit unclear to us in the broadcast booth,
but you know.
It is what it is.
We'll figure it out when the actual play happens.
As they miss the second free throw. So it's a 9-point game. Had that one blocked away, and another turnover for the Mustangs. And I mean, man, it's been the story of the game so far has been Greens Farms turnovers. She's not able to convert on that one, though. They got 4 minutes to make up 9 points. It's definitely doable, but you can't have all those turnovers, as Marizal is going to take this one to reset. Brandt takes the three-pointer. That one is no good, as Ford takes a tumble. That one is taken away by Brandt. A nice play, and it looks like they're calling a, it looks like number 4 a little bit shaken up as she hit the floor. We'll hope that she's okay. And the Dragons will get this one on an inbound once we resume. Ford took a hard fall.
It
away
looked
from
like
the
she
ball.
kept crashing in, trying to interfere with that pass, interfere with that play, and then took a pretty nasty fall. So hope she's okay. Getting looked up at the GFA trainer right now. But
well, with 4 minutes and 37 seconds, you have to think that Greens Farms can come back. They got to turn on the Jets though a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. They this is basically their 2-minute drill. They got to treat this like a 2-minute drill. They have to be able to draw plays that work, get them into space, play a fast-paced but efficient offense. You want to rush but not be hurried. That's kind of the adage there. You want to rush but not be hurried, and get the points that you know how to get. You know, get people into space and get those three-pointers that you can get the beachside bombardment rolling, and then shore up your defense. Get some good turnovers on defense. A couple of good turnovers and a couple of good offensive possessions will go a long way to making this a much closer game and possibly putting GFA in the lead.
So some time for both teams to regroup here, come up with a strategy. But yeah, this game could definitely come down to the wire, or it could be blown wide open. It's the tipping point right now. We'll see. I mean, a few turnovers one way or the other changes the entire course of this game.
Absolutely, yeah. If GFA can get a few turnovers on defense, they set up a couple of good offensive scoring drives, and they make only a handful of those. They've set themselves up really nicely in this game. On the flip side, if Putnam keeps doing what they're doing and gets turnovers, if GFA commits unforced errors like that, then Putnam Science Academy really can blow this game open. They've done well on offense. If they have that efficient scoring, they can even do even better and widen this scoring drive. So GFA has got to find a way to manage ball control. Ball control is key in this game.
So she's able to get up, favoring the right leg though, and she'll be looked at on the side. I guess it's a good thing that Putnam Science has bench players, because if this was the first game, they'd be playing with 4 people.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, exactly. That would not be very good, to say the least. When you play with 4 people, especially against GFA, you're gonna have someone open. Really, the strategy has been when GFA is well covered, they haven't been able to do well on offense. When they have like no one open and the passing lanes are clogged, they commit turnovers and they're not able to get things going on offense. But if you have that player open, then it's not great for the other team.
Marisol back to Delasanti, had that one swiped away, and Greens Farms is going to get it though. Flashes it outside now. Marisol working, nice screen by Brent. This one's put back in. Brent with a nice drive, had some contact, but nothing called. And this one's stripped away. So the Mustangs have a chance to increase their lead with yet another turnover. Taking their time a little bit. They've got 15 seconds to shoot though. Brent playing nice defense so far as 22 spins around. Hands it off to 3, now has a wide open look from three-point land, cannot convert. Behind the back, that one is no good, and this is maybe tipped away. I believe the Mustangs will get this one right back.
Good defense by GFA, but good passing on Putnam's side of the ball. They were able to not commit a turnover. They were able to get the ball passed efficiently. Had a good three-point opportunity, unable to make it, and that's kind of been the way the game has played out. They haven't been able to make many three-pointers when they've shot them. They've had a couple of good opportunities, but suffice it to say, Putnam Science has been very good at passing around those balls, and the passing has been on point for Putnam Science so far, and that continues into this possession. GFA, though, they got to play well on defense, and they're looking for a steal here.
So it will be number 3 inbounding it for Putnam Science. Outside, takes a quick three-pointer. That one is no good. But it's rebounded by Putnam Science. Now kicked outside. Takes this three-pointer. That one is good. And that one is a huge bucket made by the Mustangs to increase their lead to 12.
Puts them up by 12, and that's a difficult deficit to deal with, especially with little under 3.5 minutes left. And GFA's they got to play quick. Don't hurry, don't rush anything, but you got to play quick and make sure that you maintain possessions.
Nice rebound by Brandt. Now Delasanti looking for a teammate. Finds Brandt inside. Behind the back, cannot convert on that one. It's tipped away, and they're calling it Greens Farms ball. They've got 3 minutes to score 12 points. It's doable, but again, their offense and defense needs to work perfectly. As Delasanti gets it back, now back to Grabowski. Keaveney takes it at the top. Still working the perimeter a bit. As Delasanti had an option to shoot, did not, and they work again. Now outside, it's Keaveney from deep. That one is no good, and rebounded by Grabowski underneath, who shakes this one in. So a 10-point game.
It's a good
now
start.
It's time for the defense to come to work.
Okay, drained a little bit more time than they probably wanted to on that possession. Now they're about 2.5 minutes left. But it's a good start, and they're down by 10. They have to force a turnover here. Putnam playing a little bit of keep away here, wanting to make sure that they drain as much clock as possible. And even if they don't make the shot, just make it more difficult for GFA on offense.
And a big turnover, but they call it travel, I believe. I'm not sure if it was travel on Brand or Delasanti. Probably Delasanti. I think she had the ball, but it was almost a big turnover.
Yeah, that was almost huge for GFA, and that would have possibly cut it down to 7-point deficit with about a little over 2 minutes left, which would have been much more manageable. But as it stands, it's still 10 points, and the clock winding down. GFA might start fouling. They might start thinking about doing fouls because they haven't been fouling all game, and we haven't really seen Putnam Science Academy's ability to shoot free throws, but I'm not entirely sure about that one.
There's a big three-pointer from the corner. Makes this a 13-point game. And the Dragons are running out of time here as Delasanti pulls up from deep. That one is no good. Looking for a steal here in the backcourt in the final 2 minutes. The 13 points in about a minute and 30 seconds is tough to do. As three putting on the moves here past Keaveney. A nice drive, couldn't finish it though. Gets her own rebound, it's tipped away. The Mustangs will have an inbound underneath. Passed outside now. Almost getting a turnover, but foul is called. No bonus yet for anyone, though. And a timeout called by the Dragons.
Minute left, 13 points. This is definitely tough.
Yeah,
definitely
it's
tough
tough
for the
I mean,
Dragons.
the problem is just the amount of the turnovers just didn't stop, and when they did, they were able to come back. But I mean, it's just a few unlucky misses here and there, some passes that don't go exactly where they're intending to go, and it creates a deficit like this one.
Exactly, it snowballs, and
But they played a great third quarter.
I think
Definitely
so too.
changed their game
Definitely
up.
think so too. And they played very well in the third quarter, and I think they cut it back to within a 5-point deficit at one time. They played very well on offensive side of the ball and defensively in that third quarter, but things started to pull away a little bit in favor of Putnam when the shots stopped falling, like you said, when the turnovers started biting them again, and that's kind of the reason why they're down by 13 with only a minute left, is because they were unable to salt it away, unable to get a scoring drive because of the turnovers.
As there is a wide open layup for Putnam Science. They break 50 points. This one's kicked out to the corner. Still working the perimeter. Now inside to Brent, who kicks it outside. Now the drive. Outside it's Mirazold. Brent now. A nice drive. Had that one taken away. Mirazold puts up a floater. That one is no good. Underneath Brant, she can't finish. Gets her own rebound. That one is up, and a foul is called on the shot, so she'll go to the line to shoot two. With 33 seconds left, so technically time for 2 possessions, but not that it really helps.
Yeah, exactly. 33 seconds left. We're down by 15. Yeah, that's... You have to be one heck of a possession, or a series of possessions, to get it.
Yeah, it'd be a bunch of steals underneath the basket. And layups, but I don't think that's really possible.
At this point, like, I don't think it's just possible by the laws of physics based on the amount of time that they have left.
That one is good. So a 14-point game. We'll see if Putnam Science look to score more points or if they'll try to dribble this one out. As the clock keeps ticking, GFA looking for a turnover to try to score some more points on the other end, as a foul is now called, so Putnam Science will have an inbound. Shot clock now turned off. Inbounded here. The final 15 seconds. Passed outside. Here's the drive. Kicks it outside, and a travel is called. So Greens Farms will have an opportunity to score the last points of this one, although they will fall. We'll see if they can make it an 11-point game with a three-pointer. That'd be a nice way to end this one.
Exactly. Get some points, get some offensive drives going, take it into Saturday when they play again.
And that one is up. It's no good. And that's the end of this one. The Dragons fall 51-37. They played a great third quarter, clawing their way back, made the deficit 5, but they couldn't pull this one out. Too many turnovers, few mistakes here and there, snowballed up, and they're not able to beat Putnam Science this time around.
Yep. That's really the story of this game. They weren't able to get rid of the turnover bug. They had turnovers, and when they didn't have turnovers, they played well on offense, and they had it within 5 points. But when the shots stop falling and the turnovers start happening, it's a recipe for disaster for GFA, and that's exactly what we saw here. They played well. I think offensively and defensively, they got to be happy with the way they played. Just if they're able to fix the turnovers and get communication, get talking on the offensive side of the ball and defensive too, then that sets them up for success. When they were talking, when they had good communication, when they didn't commit any turnovers, you saw an uptick in offensive production, and that's kind of what they're going to try to do on Saturday with their final game of the season, I believe. And they're going to take that into the next game, and they're going to take that and work with that throughout work on that in that game, hopefully to get a nice win to end off the season, cap it off, which has been a pretty good season, and a good season of kind of a good season of where they're changing things up, a good season of creativity, a good season of change in this topsy-turvy COVID year. GFA has some moving parts and has some great offensive ability and defensive ability in place to set them up really well for next season.
Absolutely. They got a bright future ahead of them, but that future will have to wait one more game. As we're here on Saturday, it's going to be Isaac and I's last basketball broadcast of our GSBN careers, so make sure to not miss that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And it's a great opponent.
Yep.
St. Luke's is something we haven't beat St. Luke's in a long time. What a way to end the season with a win against
and what
St.
a way
Luke's
to cap
basketball.
off our GSPN career too. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Look, a little bit of a revenge coming out, as last year they lost to St. Luke's in the finals of the FAAs. But they look to get some revenge tomorrow or Saturday at home. That should be a fun one. So tune in then. But for now, until then, this has been Charles Cole and Isaac Moskowitz, and from everyone at the GSBN crew, we say thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on Saturday. Signing off.